All right, welcome back to our DNA, episode 20, officially. Congratulations,
Amen.
boys. Hey, that's right. Round of applause.
Oh.
I'm Brandon Duplessis. We have David Medina, Philip Price, and a guest today, back for the second time, Noah Urrutia. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Just blessed to see another day and be here. How are you guys?
That's right. Same.
And
Yep.
welcome
It's
aboard.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, hey,
Healthy,
welcome
wealthy,
back.
can't
Good to have you back again.
Thank you. I'm glad to be back. I'm excited. I've been excited to talk to you guys again. So, hell yeah.
Awesome.
Let's do it.
Hey, I like that shirt, Philip.
Yeah. It's a nice shirt.
The older I get, the more I want the brighter colors so I can
Hey,
still be
I
seen.
like bright colors. I enjoy bright
That's
colors.
funny.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, Noah, you told me you had some questions for us today?
Yeah, I got a couple questions for you guys. They kind of differ in topics, but I'll start off with this first one. I was curious as far as what you guys thought about this, and what is one piece of advice you would give to someone who is new to the sales industry? Because I just started. Me and Philip just talked about, or Philip and David just talked about me getting a job through David. I'm like a month in. I was just wondering what piece of advice you guys would first think of when you talk to someone new in the sales industry and they're starting out with it.
Yeah, good question.
Well,
Go for it, Philip.
be yourself, though. That's the key. If you can convince people and be your authentic self, then you don't have to fake it. I don't think good salesmen are. The old shyster salesman was the guy that was trying to be somebody he's not. I think the more authentic you are, and you can make a lot of money. I think if you take care of people. People don't want to know how much you know until they know how much you care. If you can master the art of sincerity, I think you can make a lot of money in the car business or any business that involves sales.
Okay.
Yeah, because you can still be really sincere, but still be selling, right?
Yes.
And still, versus a lot of people feel like they have to be timid, or like if they push farther, they're not being nice. So if someone says no, they're like, okay, and they shut down. There's a way to approach that where you're still being sincere and seeing if you can truly help that person or not. Because you have something that can help this person. And you understand if they're a little fearful at first, or if their reaction is just to say no. But if you come off, like Philip said, authentic and sincere, you might find yourself getting a deal out of it, where because they don't hear this salesy person or someone just trying to get them, they hear someone truly trying to help. So yeah, I like that, Philip.
Well, I've made a lot of money in my career, and I've always done it by caring about what their needs and wants are.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're doing it strictly for the money, then they're gonna see that you don't care about them.
Mm-hmm.
The money is a byproduct. Money is a byproduct of doing the right thing and doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So
That makes
if
sense.
you focus on the money, you're not going to be successful in sales. Because that's
Gotcha.
only for you so far. What do you think on that, Brandon? You got the money is a reward for doing the things you should do. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, and if you're not focused on the money, you're focused on the call and the client, right? So if you're focused on the money, you're comparing yourself to other people. You're desperate when you talk to the first person that picks up. All these other things come off when you're doing it for the money. But if you just think of it one call at a time, my job is to help somebody and be authentic on each call. That consistency will make you a lot of money. Right?
Amen. The consistency.
Now,
you got to be consistent. That is the key
right.
word in any successful person. Absolutely.
So my 2 cents on when you're new, put in the time, put in that extra time, put in the effort, especially in sales, it's a lot about how many dials you can make if you're on the phone.
Right.
So if you can get yourself in an hour earlier or an hour later, or if you can do something where you're putting in that extra time or making sure you're create a good system for yourself to stay organized so you can maximize the time while you're there and be consistent doing that, you'll do well.
The word you keep using is consistent. People there I've met in my career, when I had the 3 dealerships, I had over 300 and some employees. The people that survived in the sales department, there was people that came in and they were a flash in the pan and they had 1 or 2 good months, but that was all they had in them because they weren't sincere. They didn't put all the energy into it and the effort to become better. And you got to be, Brandon, keep using that word consistent. That is the key to being successful. You got to be consistent with your work habits. You know, and when you're in sales, you can't look at the clock and say, I'm going to work 7 hours or 8 hours. You work whatever hours they take. Like tonight,
right?
You're supposed to close at 6, but you don't tell somebody who's going to spend $38,000 on a Mercedes that I got to go home at 6 o'clock.
Right.
They would say, how long does it take to close a deal?
That's what we have to do.
How long does it take to close a deal? As long as it takes. Yeah, that's it.
That's a good one.
We both been in sales a long time.
As long as it takes.
That's it. Whatever it takes. Yeah.
Right.
Right on.
So, yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, because I've been there's been a lot of like these last few weeks I've been learning, and like I've David can attest. I've kind of gotten more comfortable with talking to people on the phone, and I would ask them like, oh, like how long have you been working in your self-employed business? How long, what are you doing in your free time? Stuff like that. You know, what this one guy I was talking to randomly, I was asking him the questions I needed to ask him. He's like, oh, it's getting pretty late today. You about to crack a cold one after you get off of work in a bit? I'm like, yeah, you already know it, man. I'll be home in about 30 minutes. You already know the deal. Stuff like that. Right. So like, yeah, it's pretty refreshing to hear stuff like that, you know, especially with strangers. So I mean, yeah, it's I like it so far though. I mean, I've grown more comfortable, and I can't wait to for where I'm going to be at these next couple weeks even. So yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
be like
I
a
can
sponge
definitely attest it.
Yeah, you got to be like a sponge and just want to learn whatever you can learn.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And
he's definitely gotten a lot better talking to clients too.
But there are, you know, like there's Dale Carnegie. There's some of the old school classes you can look on YouTube. Maybe spend a half hour when you get home, just what successful salespeople are doing, you know, and see if it matches your style. Because it's got to be your style. You can't do it like Brandon. You can't do it like me. You can't do it like David. You got to do it like you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to be successful at it.
That makes sense. Yeah.
If you could actually get wisdom from the people around you to improve yourself, and like he said, go online and look at sales techniques, and you're going to hear people say a lot of things, and you're never going to be them exactly, but you can take pieces of what they said and make it your own. You're not going to like everything they're saying, or you're not going to deliver it the same way they are. But if someone shares their presentation with you, and this is what they've been doing, like if you have that opportunity, don't be afraid to ask somebody, say, hey, I see you're doing really good. What's working for you?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay.
And, you know, not everyone's going to want to share their information. Some people aren't, you know, they're just that way. But in sales, a lot of people like to help. There's a lot of people that like to tell you how they're being successful. One thing people love to talk about is themselves.
Right.
So, yeah. When I used to do mortgages, we used to walk in people's houses and shake their hands. And you'd always just ask them about their house, because people love talking about things they've done or about themselves. Like, oh, wow, was that crown molding there already? You know, or like, oh, no, we did this. And people love to talk about themselves. So if you could get somebody like David or anybody else there, just like you are now with asking us, say, hey, you're doing really well. What's working for you? ask people around you, especially in your own industry. You'll get a lot of good answers.
Okay.
You find the more successful they are, the more they want to tell.
Okay.
People that find the success and discover how to be really, really successful love sharing.
Yeah.
Love telling. Love.
Okay.
Now, if you're just barely surviving, a lot of those people don't want to share with you because they're scared and they don't believe in your ability. But if you get around people, whoever's the most successful person in your organization, look at what they do. Emulate some of the things they do. I'm like the Japanese. I've never had an original idea in my life. I'm like the Japanese. When I bought Red Bluff Ford, I called Ford Motor Company and I said, "Who's the most successful dealer you got?" He said, "A guy named Leonard Nash and Dave Bartel, by far is the most successful in Northern California." I said, so I get on the phone. I called Leonard Nash. And I said, "Leonard, my name is Phil Price. I just bought a store up in a town called Red Bluff." He said, "Where in the hell is Red Bluff?" I said, "It's in Northern California." He says, "Why are you calling me?" I says, "Well, they told me you're the best and I want to learn from you. I don't have time to figure this out on my own." Well, I'm flattered you said that, but do you do this all the time? Just call somebody randomly and ask them to help you? I said, "Well, I heard you the best, and all I want to do is shadow you for a week." And it was like going to the University of Harvard.
Wow.
And because he was so good at what he did. And all I had to do was adapt it to the way I do things.
Right.
And I only had 1 month I lost money, and that was the first month. After that, it was parties over. 2.5 years, I had the dealership paid for. So people that are successful, and once I got past Leonard's rough exterior, because that's his natural personality, he finally said, "Okay, we meet. My partner and I start off at 6:30 in the morning. If you knock on my door at 6:35, you won't get in." So 6:15, I'm at his front door waiting. I ain't waiting till 6:30 when they open up. I'm at his office at 6:10. I'm there. Because the one thing you see is the people, all the old sayings they used to say, the early bird catches the worm and all that. That stuff is real, man. I don't know. Would you agree with that statement, Brandon? I mean, all
100%.
those old adages they used to say, the early bird gets the worm. I'm trying to think of some of the other ones. I found in business, they all are real because people that want to be successful, they don't have a clock. They don't have a set time they got to be there. They don't.
Yep.
They get there early because they're excited. I'm 72 years old and still excited about the car business. I've never worked a day in my life. And I made millions. Not thousands, I said millions.
Hell yeah. Blessing. That's a blessing.
Yeah. So a guy told me years ago, a Chinese guy told me, he says, "Do you know what being rich is?" And I said, "Yeah, when you got a lot of money." He says, "No, rich is when you don't know if you're working or playing. You're having so much fun. That's rich." And when I love the car business, so I've never really worked a day in my life.
That's awesome.
And that's where any business that we get in, that's where you should feel. You should be excited to get out that bed. Brandon, if you're not excited about what you do, how do you show up?
Everyone around you is going to know that you don't want to be there, right? It's like, why is this person even here? One thing I was going to say too.
Air? Why is he breathing our
Why
air?
is he taking up space, bringing down the energy? Those people usually don't last long either.
They don't.
They don't. And everybody knew it. You know, when they're gone, they're like, I knew it. Everyone agrees. Yeah.
Okay.
One thing I was going to say too, Noah, was when I hire new people, I really like people who follow directions, like without trying to reinvent it or question everything. Like when you're, especially in sales, when they're like, hey, in this kind of scenario, this is the kind of thing you should say it, right? Like especially in sales, you got to listen to, like, kind of follow and listen to your trainers, your people that are trying to help you. When I get people that think they know everything, it's like sometimes I'd rather someone that has zero experience. Yeah, zero experience, but willing to just listen. Oh man, I'll take that person all day.
I've hired 3 salesmen in this dealership that we took over 4.5 months ago. He was doing 10 cars. We're doing 40 now. And you know what I hired? They're 18, 19, and 19. They're like little sponges.
Fresh.
They're all. And the other day, Paul, my partner came and says, well, what about this guy used to work here? You know, he's about that. And no, I'm not interested. Thank you. I want young and fresh. I'm old. The only thing going to be old here is me.
We gotta average this out.
My daughter's young. Everybody's young. No. I'm the only old guy.
I'm Pops.
Oh, that's awesome.
We know, young, fresh. And Paul says, well, why did you turn around so fast? I said, look at their enthusiasm. These guys, one guy I hired was a manager of Papa Murphy's. Now he's gonna make 5, 6, 7, 8,000 a month.
Life changing.
He'll run through a brick wall. They're 18, 19, and 19. And they're gonna be somebody.
Yeah.
First of all, I ask them about the parents and what and they all are solid young people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because you need that enthusiasm. Yeah. Like I said, the only old guy is going to be me.
Yeah, you want someone willing to learn, willing to, like you said, a sponge. You said a sponge. You want someone who's willing to just listen. It's not someone who's going to tell you they know everything and show you how it's done.
Sure.
You're like, so that's for anyone watching or listening. That's another good tip.
Yep.
Right on.
And if you're 18 or 19, he's hiring.
Oh, yes. As long as you're willing to work. You can't be lazy to work with me.
Hey, you can get a better job than you think you can. Right?
Amen. Yeah.
That's true.
And these young people are really excited because I'm changing their lives.
Yeah.
I mean, the one kid, he never made $10,000 in his life. His dad makes $10,000, and he's 19 years old. And he's making what his dad makes.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
That's how it feels. Feels pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. See? And I got in the car business. I was a 20-year-old kid in 1972, and I made $3,500 the first month I was in the car business, and that was the equivalent today of making about $28,000.
Wow.
A lot of money.
$3,400 back in 1972. You could buy a house for $59,000. You could buy it. It was cheap. Gas was 25 cents a gallon.
Can't tell me
My
nothing.
apartment was 125. You think about it, you get a check for $3,400 and your rent's $125 and gas is $25.
Man.
Wow.
It's good money. Yeah. But a lot of people don't realize the job they could get even at 18 or 19, the position they can put themselves in. The opportunities are out there.
They're out there, but you
For sure.
take a chance and go find it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
You gotta be nice. So there's sales is one thing that's great about sales. Once you master it, you can go anywhere in the world and you can find a job, because sales, that's
in everything.
In everything, whether it's real estate, cars, clothes, you name it. There's a lot.
Even your dating life.
Yeah, exactly.
100%.
Yeah.
It's in everything you do.
It's in everything.
Period.
Sales, yes.
Yeah. In businesses, people invest in people.
In business, everything is sales.
Right. Politics, all of it.
Yes.
Facts. All right. I appreciate that, guys. That's definitely helpful advice I needed to hear. So I appreciate
Great
that.
question.
Yeah.
Hey, absolutely.
Yeah, and then I have another question for you guys, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
I actually came up on this one this morning as how do you celebrate small victories on your way to your biggest goals? Because I've always like read like books and read other things and heard other people say like, oh, you need to like celebrate all your small victories, even though like the smallest
Amen.
like wins, and like and keep manifesting. So like, how do you guys like do that and view that?
Wow. Hmm? What do you?
I always got an answer. So
Go ahead. Go ahead.
so this is my answer as of right now, and it still feels really good. Is plan out your money. So like, if you get your paychecks, you pay your rent, you're like, hey, I'm putting, for example, 10% of my money away in investments every month, no matter if it's a big number or a small number. I'm taking 5-10% of my money and I'm going to enjoy it. Either that be going out to eat somewhere, trip, whatever. So for me, when each paycheck, I know I'm successfully like putting money in certain places and I'm kind of sticking to that plan. One, that feels like celebrating, period. Like I'm like, thank God I'm like, I've done this. I put money here. I invested here. I spent some time with family and I spent money there. So I think if you already plan every check, no matter how big or small it is, it's like you can always constantly be improving and celebrating, saving, be doing it all at the same time. So it doesn't matter how big your check is, you're still always going to take a little bit and do something for yourself. And hey, if it's a bigger check, 10% of $1 million or 10% of 10,000, those are two different things. But
Right.
5%, 10%, you're still taking that money and saving it or celebrating. So I think that's what I've really been doing, is spreading it out and feeling good about doing it.
Okay.
But being grateful that every victory is a victory, and you got to look at it, whether it's big, small, because a win is a win whenever you win. Just think about it like that. Because if you don't celebrate it, you won't get that fulfillment out of it.
Yep.
Because then you'll be just like flatline. You'll just be monotone.
Yeah, you got to enjoy it.
Gotcha.
You got to enjoy every victory. Every victory. Whether it's setting, one of the things that you got to do is set goals too. A man without a plan only has a dream. You have to set what your goals are for the month, what you want to make or what you want to achieve.
For sure.
And when you hit it, celebrate about it. Cause like I used to tell my guys, if you don't celebrate, it's like basketball. It'd be like running up and down the court and not keeping score. Keep score because you want to know who won.
Right.
You know? And you celebrate when you win. And if you set your goal, whatever your number for this month that you hope to obtain, you set it. Because a man that don't set a goal really doesn't have a plan and doesn't have a dream. You really don't.
Okay. That's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. Set a goal. Set goals. I want to make this much this month. And when you hit it, celebrate it.
Yep. Gotcha. Okay.
In a safe way. Right?
For sure. For sure.
So you can get back to work on that next Monday. You got to get back to the grind.
You don't got to worry about it with this guy.
Whoever's listening.
But victories can be as taking yourself to a good dinner at a steakhouse or someplace you've been wanting to go to.
Sure.
It's all kinds of ways you can celebrate. You don't have to do something crazy, but just it's the little things. What you figure out in this life, if you don't get excited about the little things, the big things ain't gonna do nothing for you anyway. I hate to tell you guys that, but
that's a good one.
If the little things don't get you excited, the big things ain't gonna do it for you either.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Would you agree with that statement?
Sounds true to me.
I would, yeah.
More gratitude.
You don't get excited about little things. I've not seen it work any other way. Because if you're not excited about the little things that happen in your life, the big things, they come and go.
Yeah.
They do.
Hey,
Wow.
I've seen it. I've seen people with the most interesting personalities that are just always thinking the best of every situation, even if it went bad. They're just like, they almost seem like they're not in reality in a sense, but things work out for them and they're successful. And it's like, they don't see anything else and they celebrate all these little things and they see it in a positive way. And it's, I admire that in them.
Brandon, that goes back to our sweatshirt. That sweatshirts that you got for you and I.
Yeah.
Your attitude determines your altitude.
Yeah, I love that shirt, Brandon. I remember seeing that in the past episode. I love that. Yeah.
Your attitude. In my 20s, guys, I wish I had a video of me in my 20s. I had the worst attitude, but I thought it was everybody else, not me. Then one day you wake up and you realize you're the problem. You're the problem, not them. You. And I changed my attitude, and I have been blessed to live an amazing life.
Hell yeah.
Attitude is everything. That's why I say those sayings, because it's true.
Yep. That's beautiful.
Yeah, really.
I need one of those sweaters too.
Yeah,
it's coming.
It's coming.
Those sweaters.
I'm waiting to hear my grandson and see what he can buy those sweatshirts.
There you go.
He can buy them cheap. He knows.
Yeah,
he just bought into a warehouse, so he's going to be able to do his own printing and everything himself. So he's really getting ready to get his own little manufacturing and everything now.
There you go.
The one. It might be the one anyways.
Yeah, he just ran a warehouse in Houston, and he bought the machines and all the stuff. So he's ready
to go.
Yeah,
Right on.
I like to hear it.
Yeah. So, but I'll get us the price on it because I love that sweatshirt. I remember when you surprised me with it. He heard me.
I heard you. And it was such a good just phrase and little mantra to tell yourself in any scenario you're walking into.
You guys send me the link. I need to buy that.
Yeah, I did it rush ordered because I was like, it was kind of last second. I think we talked on
because you knew I was coming out to see you at your office.
Yeah, and I was like, it'd just be so dope just to greet him with this, to not only thank him for the time we talked and his advice, but just like show him that appreciation and that that he got to me with what he said. And I was like, a sweater would be dope. Like it'd be just such a good reminder. So I rushed it. I got it like overnighted. I spent way too much per sweater. It's like 170 a sweater or something. Hey, the logo still stayed on though, so at least it was.
Oh yes, it's still there, and I still wear mine. And people, I'll be walking in, and I forget I have it on, and people go and do the thumbs up, and I'm wondering why the thumbs up being
I'm like,
because I forget I got it on my chest. They're going thumbs up and stuff. I'm like, why are they doing that?
It happens all the time.
That's funny.
And it's the sweatshirt because people are going, that makes sense.
Yeah. And it's nice to know that people read that message and because you're only getting, if they're responding or saying something to you, it meant something to them, right? They're like, okay. And that's a good feeling. So that's why I made the sweater, and we're definitely going to start our own merch with that one day.
So, nice.
That sounds awesome.
Yes.
Put that link on here.
We'll go sir.
Can't wait.
Let's go.
Let's go. Well, we're hopefully we can reach people and with our experiences, because we're hitting all generations here. I mean, from senior citizens my age to young people like you and David. And Brandon, you're in the middle of the road. Mm-hmm. So we're hitting all genres with different opinions, because where I see it might be different than the way you guys see it. But what I love is being around, seeing the young people that I hired, and seeing how positive they are and how they want to do it right. It just, because every generation think their generation was the best.
Right.
course.
That's been since the beginning of time, ain't it?
Right.
It's always their music is the best. Their
Our
everything,
music was
right?
the best.
Uh-huh.
Times were better.
You're not wrong there.
That's true.
Everybody says that. So
Yes, sir.
Yep.
It's hard not to.
yes, it is.
I find myself doing it too.
I do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Boy.
I was worried about the young people, but when I see how creative they are,
Mhm.
it just gets me excited. And Henry Ford says, whether you're 8 or 80 and you quit learning, you die.
You die.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
remember you bringing that up in multiple episodes. I'm like, yep, that's a good one right there.
Because
Always worth remembering.
you know how excited I get? I get like a little kid when I learn something new, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's we can do it that way. Oh, let's
Wait
go.
a minute. Speaking of which, of learning something new, I think it's about 3 or 4 episodes we talked about 3 or 4 episodes ago. We talked about you trying to play video games.
Oh, I haven't done that one. I watch my grandsons do it, and I mean, I'm like,
They'll start you out easy. Tell them to
They
start you
will,
out with something little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people like it, like they play it and stuff. I got friends there. My cousin Orlando, he's older than me, and he plays video games. So I don't know.
Hey,
I mean, he likes it. He says it's fun, you know. So I don't know. I haven't tried it, but I might have to try it.
hey, games
One
are a way
time
of
I'll
life.
surprise my grandson and ask him to teach me how to play
But
it.
just say, hey, I want to play with you guys. I just want to see the look on their face.
Oh, they'd be
See
shocked.
Pops.
Pops. They call me Papa,
That's what
so they go, Papa, want to play? So
Want to play?
they'll
Like,
be laughing. You know, I'll be
not on my
I'll be
account.
the joke that night. Though.
Yep.
You know that, guys. Come on, man. I won't do nothing right. They'll be laughing. But they'll have fun with it. I think that's a great idea, Brandon. You brought that
That's
up.
good.
That's a
That's
great
good.
idea. Yeah, I got to try that because I know I'm
Oh,
going to fail at it.
In certain games, you can create
Point.
characters that look just like you too, so they can make
Oh, you
someone that
can?
looks just. Oh yeah, the
Yeah.
whole
Yeah,
thing.
I didn't know that. Oh,
We gotta
wow.
play NBA 2K.
Really?
Yeah, they'll get you
Yep.
the beard, get you your glasses on, the T-shirt,
Oh,
everything.
man, would that be funny? Oh, I got to do that.
They're
I'm
balling.
excited. Now you got me excited. I didn't know you. So your character, you can play in character with a cartoon version of yourself.
Yep.
100%.
Like animated, yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So you get to live in a different reality for that moment, right? You get
Yeah.
to be that NBA player. You get to build your character, get your little bonuses. It's
Yep.
Ready Player One style.
I think that's I'm definitely going to talk to my grandson Justice, and he plays all the time, but he plays with other kids, and they don't even get the same room. He have his headset on, and he'll be yelling into the thing, and he forget he's at his house. He'd be like, "What? Is there a war going on up there or something?"
Oh,
You know, they have fun.
I've had to run up in one of my kids' rooms more than once because they're getting way too wild. Like, I'm like, why are you trying to break your desk? Like, what's going on up here?
Oh,
No,
you should hear him when he's playing with his cousins over in L.A. or they'd be yelling and screaming. I'm like, damn, is it really that exciting?
They're in real war.
It gets that exciting.
It gets like
I've
that.
been there. Yeah.
Kind of like you said, you got to be excited, right, Philip?
You know,
excited.
one of the things I've been in, people see me moving around at this car lot and they go, "How old are you?" I said, 72. You get around like that? My grandpa's 72 and he don't move like that. But I get excited when I'm at work.
Yeah.
It brings that enthusiasm out of me. And my daughter said, "Dad, slow down. You're going too fast. Slow down."
Hey, that's your video game right there.
That's my video game. I love because I like interacting with people.
There you go.
I really do. I mastered the art of sincerity because I really care. I really do. Yeah. I want to sell them a car and become a friend. It's hard to say no to someone that really cares about you.
That's fair.
That is true, yeah.
Because if you just sell the car and you focus on the car, it's not going to be rewarding.
Yep.
The car is a byproduct. We talk about everything. How's your kids? You really? And then, oh, by the way, your payment's going to be this. Oh, okay, that works for me. Okay, all right.
But that's a secondary thought. After we done talked about family, kids, life.
Yep.
And
Gosh.
now that I'm the OG, oh, I can give out nuggets, you know.
Yeah. So actually, you asked this question, and Philip and I answered it. But David, what, from your perspective, what advice do you have for someone new in sales?
But yeah, just reading the books and going on YouTube. There's tons of tutorials. There's tons of TEDx talks, and not even just sales though. Just like how to be more charismatic or talk to people is always the best one. That's something I learned.
Right.
That's something that I seen in the book that we love to talk about, how to influence people, and yeah, you know what I'm talking about. But there's just different ways. It's not all sales. It's not all direct, make money, do this. Like for me, it's really just learning different outlets of life. Even the psychology of people is helpful, because you need to know if somebody's talking lower, they're a little bit like stressed or like a little distressed by what you're saying to them. And then if somebody's more high pitched, then they're excited to know what you have for them, and it's just really so many things. It's like learning people in general is going to help you with sales. That's what I've noticed a lot. And that's more than just what I do at work. And you've seen it, Noah, and anybody who's watching this, if you know me, you understand that that's how I am outside of work too.
It's good.
Solid
advice. Because, and kind of like what we were talking about, caring, you can't really care about people if you're not getting to know them, right? And getting to understand their position and their psychology. There's been clients where I could tell it was just a bad time. You could hear it in their voice. And I made sure that they knew not to make a decision right now. Like, now is not the time for you to make this decision. And like, they appreciated that. And they made the decision a week later. You know what I mean? But it's the fact that I could tell what they were going through was real, or I could hear it in their voice, or I was really paying attention, versus just throwing up everything I know on why they should buy my product. Right.
Yeah.
So David, I think that's great advice, right? Know people, learn how to understand them. But
let's have Noah shout himself out and what he does, and we can put it. He can be, as the editor, he can put all his stuff down there.
Appreciate it. Yeah,
help us get us going.
Thank you. Yeah, as a fellow honorary editor of the RDNA podcast, you can find me on Instagram at YUNG_N.U. I just dropped a new EP this last week, Underdog 2. It's out on all platforms. If you want to check it out, it's there on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. I'm very hyped to have this out, and we have an open mic this Friday that I'm going to be performing some of it for the first time. So
6:30 to 9.
Yes, sir.
Same place.
So let me ask a question here. So what did you just drop, Noah? What is this? Tell it to me again.
Yeah, so I dropped a 4-song project. It's an EP. It's called Underdog 2. So
nice.
It's 4 songs I made over like different time periods of like the past few years, and because my first project I ever dropped was called Underdog, so like this is my sequel. So so I've been really anticipating this one, and it kind of encapsulates my recovery period from my past like surgical recoveries, and how I've like overcome that today and where I'm at now and how I've adapted to it for the most part. And just managing to still have fun and be myself even through all the obstacles that life throws at me. So that's pretty much like the main premise behind it. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that.
Right. Underdog 2. No, thank you for sharing more with me, because I was curious. I wanted to hear. I didn't want to rush through that. It sounded like you came up with something special. So good for
you. Thank you. Appreciate that, Brandon. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. Good for you. Underdog 2. I always appreciate when people are going out there and trying to do something, right? Like just period. Just keep trying. Good job, man.
Thank you.
Underdog 2. Go check it out. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys next week. For everyone listening, have a great day and even better tomorrow.